What's up guys, welcome back for another DevPro Duel video. Number 100, already 100 DevPro videos. Yeah, kinda surprising, didn't expect to make 100 videos in like 1.5 years. Anyway, two legendary decks in this game's history. The first deck you see here is called Airblade Turbo. Airblade because of Airman, Elementor Hero Stratos in the OCG, and Phoenix Blade. Very crucial for this deck. This deck is pretty much pre-Diamond 2 Turbo. Diamond 2 Turbo is I think, more known here in the TCG. Because this deck, Airman Turbo, you could only play it for like 1 week. Because the moment when Stratos was released here in the TCG, it was as a Shonen Jump magazine promo, and during the same weekend when Stratos was released, there was also a Shonen Jump, which is now YCS, and now Shonen Jumps are called YCSs, so a very big tournament back then. And I think pretty much the people who were able to get Stratos from the magazine during that weekend, pretty much everyone topped. Yeah, if you're able to get 3 Stratos, you are pretty much guaranteed to top, because back then this was pretty much the best deck, kinda tier 0 at that time. And the funny thing is that right after the YCS, or right after the Shonen Jump back then, with when this kind of deck won with 3 Stratos, it was pretty much axed by the ban list. So Stratos was put to 1 and so on, and then we got into Diamond 2 Turbo and so on. But yeah, the concept of the deck is pretty simple. You have 3 Stratos to search out another Stratos, to search out Diamond 2, your 3 Malicious, Destiny Hero, Dasher, 3 Dimension Fusion as your pretty much your win condition, with D-Mock, the big motherfucker of the deck. 3 Rota was possible, but 2 was the standard, 3 Destiny Draws, and of course 3 Reasoning and the Monster Gates to get your big monsters on board. Magical Stone Excavation, to get back your spells from the grave, which were milled with your Reasoning, and also Phoenix Blade to fuel your Dimension Fusion, banish your warriors from the grave, and also Phoenix Blade was fodder for both Magical Stone Excavation and Lightning Vortex. That's pretty much it for this deck. The second deck, also one of the best decks in this game's history, is the Spellbook Prophecy, with of course the Spellbook of Judgment, one of the best cards in this game's history. Activate your Spellbook of Judgment, and every time if you activate a spell card after you activate your Spellbook of Judgment, you are allowed to search out the Spellbook in the end phase, and after that special summon a Spellcaster monster from your deck equal, or its level equal or lower to the amount of spellbooks you're searched out. By releasing Spellbook of Judgment, Konami was giving the Spellbook deck some way to compete with Super Rejuvenation Dragon Rulers back then in 2013. This is a decklist that won the World Championship qualifier, or the European Championship back then. Okay, that's it. Let's see some duels. Game number 1, Spellbooks is going to start, and I think, my opponent is playing Spellbooks, I'm playing the Hero deck, the Airman Turbo deck, and I think this is pretty much, or this move, this first turn, pretty much sums up how powerful Judgment Spellbooks or Judgment Prophecies are. The deck is running like between 6 to 8 monsters, but that one Yogun was ran, or you were running the Yogun to lock up your, to pretty much block your opponent out of the duel, because of the Dragon Ruler matches back then. And you see here the amount of advantage you are able to make with Spellbook of Judgment is just astonishing. It's just crazy. Also very important back then was you can always search out your fate. Pretty much every Spellbook deck was running like double fate, and you are able to recycle your fate every turn to protect your Yogun. And back then it was either your opponent was running Spellbooks on their own, or of course Dragon Rulers. And if you're able to keep Yogun on the field, thanks to your fate and the recycle of your fate, you pretty much win the duel very quickly. So yeah, nothing I could do about that. The second game we've had, I get to start, set up my grave, draw some cards, have double reasoning in hand, that's already very important to go through your deck, have Vortex, which is also very important to get rid of the Yogin, and Heavy Storm. Heavy Storm is also important because of the massive back row and get me out of the Fate lock, so he can't use Fate on one of my monsters. Or yeah, pretty much clear the way for an OTK. Again, makes a very standard move, ending with your Fate, and in the end phase search out your spellbooks from your deck and end with Yogin. Again, block your opponent out of the duel. But as said, first going to activate the Heavy Storm, bypass the field spells effect, so we cannot special summon from his deck due to its own Yogin. He changes Fate, luckily no Wisdom, so he's not able to protect his Yogin, so normal summon Stratos, Destiny draw the Diamond Tooth, I believe, yeah, fuel my grave with Blade. Very unfortunate I draw Malicious here, not that big of a deal, so I get the last one out of my deck. Activate Reasoning, hopefully mill some blades to fuel my Dimension Fusion, because I have the Magical Stone Excavation in hand. So there is the Dimension Fusion. There is one blade, that's perfect. There is the second one, excellent. Reasoning, he calls 2 times 6, so I was like, oh, mill the Demok, mill the Demok. Or at least, yeah, reveal the Demok. Luckily for him, no Demok. So fuel my Dimension Fusion, get back both blades, which can act for Father for Magical Stone Excavation, keep one in hand, and to set up the second blade. Since here, due to him having that Spellbook Magician set, I can't go for a game just yet, so I need that second blade, so activate both blades on both Stratoses, and this should be, I think, 8100, if I'm not mistaken. So attack with Malicious over his Spellbook Magician, and indeed attack for game. Very excellent. So both Heavy Storm and Lightning Vortex were very crucial in this duel. Yeah, indeed. Game 3, he gets to start, and I think we pretty much know it by now. He normal summons the Spellbook Magician, derps all over my face, special summons, or yeah, activates his Spellbook of Judgment, and gets some nice pluses. So again, yeah, pretty much the goal of your opening move was to end with Fate, your Fate to protect your monster, to protect your Yogin. Again, block your opponent out of the duel, and with your field spell to recycle your spellbooks and so on. So here I think I pretty much lost the duel. So normal summon Stratos. I'm not going to activate my Heavy Storm just yet, since he's just able to chain his spellbook, his Fate to banish my Stratos, and I wanted to keep the Heavy Storm to deal more damage, because he's obviously going to activate his what is it called, the continuous Spellbook Star Hall, to fuel your monsters. Since the deck only runs like 8 monsters, but that was enough, because you're running Star Hall to boost up your spellcaster, so you're like poking every turn with your Spellbook Magicians, and activate spell after spell after spell to boost up your attack of your spellcaster monsters. So he still has his Yogin on the field, so I was pretty much sure that I survived this turn, because he cannot special summon, but he can still deal some damage. But here I think my only out was to draw into Vortex and hope that he does not have Wisdom. But I think we saw him searching out this Wisdom, so he's able to protect his Yogin indeed. So I cannot again attack for a game OTS, try to at least OTK him. He also chains his Fate on the Spellbook Magician. His Yogin survives thanks to Wisdom, and I think I'm going to scoop here, I'm not sure. No. Both Star Halls activate, and that was also very nice, because he can search out his one Veiler from the main deck and also the Droll and Lockbird. And because now with the reinforcement of the army in the hand, I'm not going to activate it, since I think my only option here was to get back my Graceful, get back my Blade, and hopefully draw into Premature Burial, because I have the Demok Engrave, and go from there. But first attack over his Yogin, of course, and then activate Premature Burial in main phase 2, establish a field. But then again, he has like plus 15 over me. He still has all those searches in his deck, and he can just fade my field away. And again, end with Yogin or Kaiku. to pretty much prevent me from banishing my my warriors from the grave with my blades. But he's going to end the game in a kind of cheap way with Tempest Magician, boost up with double power. Oh yes, yeah, 1 power and 1 one Spellbook of the Master, and he's going to end the game with the burn damage, so he can now activate the Tempest Magician effect, so he can discard, I think, yeah, the amount of cards he wants. He can choose, and for every card discarded, he can, or at least, yeah, your Tempest Magician gets a token, a counter, and for every counter you remove, your opponent gets 500 burn damage, so it's game over. Yeah, GGVP, I guess. Last duel of the video, I think I get to start, and yeah, back in the day it was pretty much safe to just end your field with your normal summon Stratos, or for example, so activate Reasoning, get lucky, I think he calls a 6 again, mill the Stratos right off the bat, so that's perfect, set up my Malicious in the Grave, normal summon Diamond Tooth, and you are kinda unlucky if you miss with Diamond Tooth, because you have like a gazillion spells to hit with your Diamond Tooth. And here again, as I said before, normally back in the day it was just fine to end your field with Diamond Tooth and Stratos, not commit to the field just yet and anticipate on your opponent, yeah, on your opponent's field, but because he's playing Spellbook of Judgment, Spellbooks, I think it was better to get my Demok to the field now, use his effect and establish a field, so it's a bit more easy to overcome his Yogun lock with Fate. He sets to get some Search in end phase, again end with the Yogun, so no special summons from me. Although he has still 2 sets, draw into another Dimension Fusion. I have Stratos in hand, and I think the deck plays like 1 or 2 Mirror Forces, a Solemn Judgment, a Fate. So here I think it was the better move to yeah, get my Graceful, draw, hopefully draw into Vortex. I do, so that's nice. So normal summon Stratos, blow up both his back rows with Stratos effect, Vortex, to get some, yeah, to clear his field. And to, yeah, get my Malicious on board, sent to the grave. And I think here the worst top deck, or the worst monster you could reveal from the top was of course your last Malicious, but it didn't really matter since yeah, every monster was fine, so I can attack for game now. So anyway, GG. So this was it. Both very legendary decks paired up against each other, but I think if we look at both decks, I think the Spellbook deck with Spellbook of Judgment is much better. It has much more advantage, much more power plays compared to Airblade Turbo, although both decks are very strong. Yeah, okay guys, that's it. If you have any suggestions for future uploads for like these cross-format tools, leave them in the comment section down below. And that's it. Okay guys, thanks for watching, and feel free to leave a comment or like if you enjoyed the video. Beatum signing out. Peace.